opportunity to speak. Thank God for our pastor. God bless you. Thank God for there she is, Prophetess Felicia. Thank you for the opportunity. She snagged me a couple weeks ago, and she said, "Do you mind doing this?" Of course, at the time, I didn't know. I didn't really have a choice whether I wanted to do it or not. So I said, "Okay, bless the Lord." Anyway, I was asked to look in the Bible and see what woman I shared the same characteristics with. And at first, I was just like, I don't really know. So I was looking through the Bible, and I was looking through like a list of all women, and the one name that came up was Gomer. Now, I'm not going to lie. At first when I said I am not the characteristics of Gomer because she was a prostitute, but then I looked at it on the spiritual sense. In the spiritual sense, I was a spiritual adulteress or a spiritual harlot. So I'm going to break it down for you so that you understand.
Amen.
So Gomer, as you know, is in Hosea chapter 1. You know, you can read that. Gomer is explained as a harlot. A harlot is just another fancy name for a prostitute. But there's something deeper that was going on inside of Gomer. You don't just wake up one day and say, "Hey, I think I'll be a prostitute." There was something going on inside of her.
Amen.
So I started breaking it down. I said, okay, she was a harlot. She was a prostitute. Yes, I knew that she was an adulteress when she got married to Hosea. Okay. But she was not satisfied. She was unfulfilled. She felt incomplete. She was very rebellious. Anytime her husband Hosea said, "Come home, I love you," she was just like, "Later for that, I'm out." She also had a hardened heart because she was just like, "Listen, you can't love me. I don't want you to love me, so I'm going to need you to back away. Let me go over here." She lived in the clouds. Like Gomer had this fantasy. She was like, "You know what? I have this fantasy that is going to fulfill what's going on inside of me. So if I get a guy over there to fulfill my fantasy, I'll be okay." Again, she's up in the clouds. She struggled with low self-worth. For years, you know, like I said, you don't just wake up and say, "I'm going to become a prostitute." That's a lot of stuff that's going on the inside of her. She was deteriorating. She was desperate. She was in a danger zone. Now, when I looked at that, and I said, "Okay, George, let's see what's going on with you." On the other side, for me, I was, for a long time, unfulfilled. I was incomplete. God knows I was rebellious. Thank God for deliverance. I was hard in heart. I lived in the clouds. I said, "You know what? If my family was like the Cosbys, I'll be okay." I lived in a fantasy world. I had low self-worth. I was in a danger zone. I was desperate. I was angry, and I was going through a process. The process I was going through was a spiraling downfall all the way down. I didn't know where I was going to end up had not the Lord reached down and touched me.
Amen.
So now that we all know that, you know, I was a spiritual adulteress, you know, I'm going to break it down. I try to find fulfillment in any way possible. And I'm not going to sit up here and I'm not going to lie to y'all. I smoke weed, okay? I smoked weed years and years ago. You know, I tried it a couple times, and I'm just being real. I was in a park one day, and I was with a friend of mine, and I took in too much air in my lungs, and I almost died. I almost died in the park because I took in too much air, or I took in too much smoke. But I said all that to say I was trying to fulfill the hole that was in my life. I was trying to fulfill it. I was doing everything that I could. Now, mind you, Gomer was, in the physical, she was a prostitute. But in the spiritual sense, I was cheating on God every single time. Every time I turned around and said, "You know what, God? I know you love me. I know your word said it. My mother said it. My grandmother said it. I know it, but I don't want to do it." So I tried everything else just like Gomer. So when I said I likened myself to Gomer, it's true. I was a spiritual prostitute or a spiritual harlot. But the thing that separates me is that I've been redeemed. If you look in chapter 3, when Gomer was brought back by Hosea, she wasn't redeemed or complete until he did it. Until he bought her, it was like for like 15 shekels and a half a homer or something like that. First of all, the word tells you that he paid too much for her. He paid too much. She was in slavery. He paid way too much. But I'm so glad that God paid the ultimate price for me, because when somebody said your worth has depreciated or you're not valued anymore, I thank God, because he said, "You know what? I will pay the ultimate price. I'll overpay for her." Why? Because I know she's going to do my will and she's going to work in my kingdom.
Amen.
So I just thank God, because Gomer's name in Hebrew means complete. Now, it's ironic because throughout the first 3 chapters, she was incomplete. She was empty. But it wasn't until Hosea brought her back that she was complete. Now, if you look at my name is Joinia, Joiner. If you look at the root name of my name, it's joy. I have double joy. I have joy in my first name, joy in my second name. But I I was never living up to my name because I was unfulfilled. I tried everything in the world that I thought I was big enough to do. You know, I was a little scary acting. Some stuff I did, some stuff I didn't do. But at the same time, I was not living up to my name. My name is Joy, Joy. I had somebody come up to me and say, you know what, why don't you live your name? I said, excuse me? He said, why don't you live your name? Your name is Joy, Joy. You have double the portion of joy. And I said, well, that makes sense. Okay, I got that. As I started reading and as I started becoming more intimate with the Lord, I do find that I have my name. I am my name. I am living up to my name to the best of my ability. I am joy. I have the joy of the Lord that is on the inside of me. Amen. And I'm happy about it because I've been redeemed. Like Gomer, she was redeemed. I'm redeemed. And I'm so glad that I have been redeemed. So, in closing, my whole point to you all is that I said for me personally, and it took me a while to try to get up here and say I was like the harlot and whatnot, but we've all have cheated on God. Anytime you say, you know what, I'm not going to read your word, I'm not going to do what you want me to do, you're cheating on God. But I'm so glad that he said, I'm married to the cinnamon. I'm married to you, so I'm not going to divorce you. Even though you step out on me, I'm not going to divorce you. So no matter how many times I was out there, the Lord said, okay, when you're done with your foolishness, when you're done acting a plumb fool, I'm still going to be here. I still want you to come home. I still love you. So I thank God. So for all of us who, have cheated on God, it's not the end. It's not the end. Even though you might do this, you might do that, and you might go against this word every single day. But I'm so glad because the hope of glory, the Christ that's on the inside of me, enables me to say, you know what? I was like Gomer, but I bet you I'm not like her no more. I mean, I have some spots in my life that need to be fulfilled and whatnot, but I'm so glad that I'm not like her anymore. So, amen.